What is one secret your parents can never know? After my sis died, I locked myself in her room and went through everything alone before her friends or my parents went through her stuff to pack it away or give it to her friends. I found naked pics, empty bottles of alcohol and a letter she had wrote, but I guess never gave, to her then boyfriend, telling him the story of how she was raped as a younger teenager. I threw everything like that out, but kept that letter. It's been 12 years and I just found the letter again as I was packing up to make room for baby. I can't bring myself to throw it away. Good on you for being that filter. I shudder to think about people going through my shit after I die and finding all my skeletons. Is there an official term for this? Should this be a thing? I need to designate someone to do this, otherwise I'll ruin a lot of memories of me. Edit. A lot of people have suggested pronoun buddy. I'd get punched in the face if I went to my best friend and said, Larry, we've known each other a long damn time. Let's be pronoun buddies. Surely we can come up with a better term that requires little or no explanation. This happened in my freshman year of high school. So one of my friends got a hold of some weed, and I haven't tried it before, so we had the stupid idea to smoke it. He came over along with some other friends of mine. The original plan was to go to forest near my house to smoke it, but it was cold, so we didn't want to. One of us wanted to smoke it on my porch, but I disagreed. I forgot how, but we came up with the stupidest idea and hotbox in my bathroom. Keep in mind my parents were gonna be home from work in an hour, and if they found out my life would be done. We quickly made a shitty bong out of a Gatorade bottle, then removed everything from my bathroom. We lit up the weed and smoked for like 10 minutes. Once we were done, we quickly cleaned up and emptied a whole Axe bottle in the bathroom. My friends being stoned as duck left. I went back upstairs to check the bathroom, and it smelled like flat out weed. I tried to use every possible thing to get the smell out, but it didn't work. I called my parents, they have the same job, and they said they were 15 minutes away. I knew I was ducked. Now keep in mind my parents are extremely strict, and if they caught me, I would be over. This is when I thought of the stupidest thing any sane human would think. Burn my bathroom down. I ended up lighting some towels on fire and trying my hardest to burn the sink area. It ended up catching on fire, but it was slow. I quickly called 911 and 3 minutes later fire department. I see fire trucks out my house. They took care of the fire and my parents came home shocked. Half of my bathroom was charred and the door knocked down. Fire department said it was probably an electrical current from the outlet that burned the towel. I slept that night thinking how stupid I was and what I just did. To this day my parents don't know. TL. Doctor hotboxed in my bathroom and set fire to it to get the smell out and prevent from being caught. Parents still think it was an accident. In my opinion, this is why it's bad to be overly strict. Kids are gonna do dumb shit, and if you're extremely strict, they're just going to go to greater lengths to cover it up. One time I dropped an entire roll of toilet paper into the bowl when trying to change it. I didn't want them to know I ruined an entire roll, so I hid it in my closet, and over a course of a few weeks I would rip away pieces and throw them away. Edit. Since some people seem to be assuming my parents were horrible and I was frightened, that's definitely not the case. I was just a dumb kid that was embarrassed about dropping a whole roll in the toilet. You went to an extreme length to get away with that. My sister and I were reading through my mom's old high school yearbook, and we kept seeing everyone sign saying something along the lines of, "Congrats, you and X are perfect together." X is not our dad, and we had never heard X's name mentioned before. After a little more digging we found out she had married X right out of high school, divorced, then married our father. Neither of us really cared, but it was still a huge shock she hasn't told us, now that we are both in our mid-20s. Edit. I subconsciously used X as the name, not even realizing it came from the most popular story on Reddit at the moment. My dad always tells me I was so whipped by my girlfriend back in high school, and the example he always uses is at one time she told me to change out of my sweatshirt. What really happened is that she pointed out the huge cam stain that she left on my sweatshirt the night before, and I figured I should change it to avoid awkwardness on our day out with my family. I jacked my ex off once in the backseat of my mum's car while she was driving. He came on one of my sweatshirts and the next day at school I see my mom wearing it. She was a substitute. Huge cam stain on the back of it. Didn't know what to do. My dad thinks I lost my virginity earlier than I actually did. He thought he'd walked in on me post 6 with my GF at the time, but we'd actually just been play fighting, and the moment he walked in was the moment she decided to put the strap for her top back on her shoulder. After that I find out my dad's told half of my family about this, and despite me trying to tell him I hadn't done anything, he claimed to have believed me, but didn't. So he'll never know when I actually did, because he believes a lie at it. I was 17 over 18 when the play fight happened. I lost my virgin some years later in my early 20s. Is he proud that you lost your virginity at that age? Or do you think he's disappointed or something? When I was 8, me and my sister cracked my dad's chessboard. We hid the pieces in someone else's trash can. My dad has had it since he was 11. He was 46 at the time, and he was fuming mad. He thought he lost it, and he still does. Looking back, do you think he could have repaired the chessboard? I would feel so guilty if I realized later that I not only broke it, but removed any possible chance of closure. How to use a computer, apparently. My mother-in-law is the same way. She keeps getting viruses and asking us to fix it, even though we live 19 hours away, or buy her a new one. She recently started seeing a guy who's a gamer and has suddenly decided she wants us to buy her a gaming PC, even though the most advanced game she plays is Candy Crush. When I got engaged, my very Catholic mother whispered to me, "Has he tried to kiss you yet?" I'm a semi-famous dominatrix and have been since 3 years before she asked that question. Oh, I hope you whispered back that he had, and it was nice. Your mum sounds sweet. That one of my childhood friends and I used to play with each other's penises. It was fun, and we liked it. I'm a married, straight guy, but this information would shorten their lifespan undoubtedly. I'm pretty sure the statute of limitations are up on this one, so why not? I was a junior in high school and had some friends into LAN parties who were seniors, but I couldn't really join them because my family was pretty poor and neither them or I could afford a computer for me to use at that time. So one day my older friends gave me one of their older PCs, Pentium 3 with a couple parts missing, RAM, HDD, that I could build out for myself. Now about 15 years later it's turned out to be a great jumping off point because now I'm a successful system administrator and love working in the id field. And I owe it in many ways to that first computer I learned to build back up from scratch and make my own. Only they didn't give me that computer. We stole it from the high school. Sorry, not sorry. I had a laptop that I received as a gift from my uncle, and it was already 5 years old when I got it, and it had no working battery. The laptops at school had identical batteries. Needless to say, one of the school laptops lost a battery that day. I totaled my first car when I was 16. They knew about that. They came to pick me up and talked to the police officer while I was moving things from my car to theirs. What they didn't know about was the liter of vodka in my trunk, which I quickly and quietly speed walked to my parents' trunk. Neither the cop nor my parents knew a thing. I very nearly shat my pants. Disclaimer, I did not drink and drive. The trunk was just the only place my parents never checked, and I happened to be a rowdy teenager that I used to sneak into sister bedroom after bedtime and play Game Boy with her. God, I felt like such a ninja. When I was in elementary school, I was at Target with my mom and sister. At the checkout counter I saw these cinnamon flavored Tic Tacs, and I had to have them because I hadn't fully developed the whole want/need function in my brain. I knew my mom wouldn't buy them for me, so I grabbed them sneakily and put them in my pocket sneakily. I felt pretty guilty the whole way home and didn't make eye contact with anyone in case they could read my mind. As soon as I was inside the safety of my home, I made my way upstairs sneakily and opened my hot goods. They were awful. Easily my least favorite Tic Tac. I ended up throwing them in the garbage can outside sneakily to avoid any suspicion. This is my shame, and I carry it alone. Except now with theoretically thousands of people. TLDR, the only time I ever stole anything, the fruits of my victory turn rotten in my mouth. The police are on their way. Target doesn't forgive. Target doesn't forget.